Recap: Alchemy Emperor of the Divine Dao, Chapter 1, 1231, Chapter Range. The air in the Imperial Alchemy Hall was thick with tension, as though even the faintest whisper could ignite a storm. Han Xinyan's eyes flickered with uncertainty as she studied the young man standing before her. His aura was unshakably calm, almost audacious in its confidence. Was this boldness true mastery, or the recklessness of a madman? Very well, she declared, her voice resonant with solemnity. We shall refine level 8 divine pills. Every syllable carried the weight of determination. Han Xinyan, a prodigy renowned across the great Crimson Sun Imperial Empire, was no stranger to challenge, but Ling Han had forced her to recognize him as a genuine threat. Underestimating him now was unthinkable. I shall refine the 9 Emperor Golden Bell pill, she continued, her tone measured. This was also a level 8 divine pill, simpler in effect and refinement compared to the legendary Berserk Blood Spirit pill. Though the choice of pill might seem trivial against such a fearsome challenge, the true test lay not in her selection, but in the fierce contest that would unfold. The outcome was clear. If Ling Han succeeded with the Berserk Blood Spirit pill, victory would crown him. If his cauldron faltered and exploded, she would claim triumph. The two alchemists began their meticulous preparations. When Ling Han drew forth a Red Rain Divine King fruit, Han Xinyan's gaze sharpened. Such an ingredient was no trifle. Its presence confirmed the gravity of his intentions. He was not jesting. The cost of failure was astronomical, yet he dared to walk this path. Her mind wrestled with disbelief. Could he truly have grasped the ancient recipe of the Berserk Blood Spirit pill? Could he refine it to perfection? Against her rational judgment, an uneasy intuition whispered that he might succeed. A flicker of unease stirred within her. The match hasn't begun, yet I already feel the sting of impending defeat. Outside the palace, spectators crowded the corridors, their voices bound by a mystical barrier that shielded the contest from disruption. Yunyang Wang and Kang Shuyuan, despite their lingering doubts, had no choice but to place their faith in Ling Han. Half a year had passed since they first glimpsed his potential. And now he had returned, shrouded in a mastery that defied expectation. Boom! The heavens themselves seemed to roar as divine flames surged from the cauldrons. The two young masters immersed themselves in the art of refinement. Ling Han's mind entered a trance, every fiber of his being attuned to the cauldron's energy. The Berserk Blood Spirit pill was the pinnacle of his alchemical ambition, a level 8 divine pill of unmatched difficulty, teetering on the edge of level 9. One misstep could erase months of labor. Refinement at this level demanded not only patience and determination, but an unwavering command over one's origin power and divine senses. It was a battle of endurance, a test of spirit and skill. Any lapse, any momentary distraction, and the cauldron would erupt in failure. Few could endure such a relentless trial. Fewer still could do so for a month straight. Ling Han cast aside all extraneous thoughts. This was no mere contest of pride. This pill was essential to him. Each motion, each incantation, each stir of the cauldron was infused with purpose. Around him, onlookers drifted in and out, alchemists eager to witness the artistry of true level 8 masters. The spectacle was a banquet for the senses, a rare glimpse into the apex of their craft. The final day arrived like the dawn after a tempest. The city teemed with anticipation as crowds gathered to witness the culmination of the contest. Open! The command resounded almost simultaneously from both competitors. With a resounding pang, the lids of their cauldrons were cast aside. Ling Han, unrestrained now, unleashed his ultimate technique, the Three-Fire Guide. Gasps erupted among the spectators. Yunyang Wang and Kang Shuyuan's eyes widened in astonishment, their jaws slack. The Three-Fire Guide? But this is the secret of our master. How could he possibly wield it? Their minds raced, questioning the impossible. Could Ling Han truly be an intergenerational disciple of their revered teacher? A brilliant glow erupted from Ling Han's cauldron, and a pill, radiant with crimson brilliance, danced through the air. The Berserk Blood Spirit pill had emerged in perfection. Han Xinyan's eyes flickered toward it, and a resigned sigh touched her heart. She had known from the moment she saw the Red Rain Divine King fruit that he was refining the Berserk Blood Spirit pill. The truth settled with a weighty clarity. She had lost. Ling Han had triumphed. I've lost, she admitted, her voice serene yet edged with resolve. The crowd stood frozen, unable to reconcile the reality. Ling Han, so young, had ascended to level 8 mastery and had bested a prodigy of unparalleled renown. Members of the Treasure Forest Pavilion stared in disbelief, grappling with the shock of witnessing a new force emerge from the shadows. Han Xinyan, a woman of pride yet honor, approached Ling Han with graceful composure. She poured a cup of tea for him, and with a flourish of her finger, etched upon the ground the words, "I admit you're stronger." A true warrior of alchemy accepted defeat without bitterness. Ling Han, inwardly acknowledging her virtue and immense talent, felt a fleeting impulse to recruit her as his 6th disciple. Yet the rivalry between them and their positions as representatives of opposing factions made such a proposal premature. He sipped the tea, a gentle smile gracing his lips. "Our match is complete, and my tea has been enjoyed. Farewell." "Wait!" Han Xinyan's voice rang with fiery determination. She bit her lip, eyes ablaze. "I will challenge you again, mark my words." Ling Han's smile deepened, unhurried. "I welcome the challenge, but it shall wait until my cultivation allows me time." Alchemy and cultivation demanded focus, and even a prodigy must choose his battles wisely. He departed with Yunyang Wang and Kang Shu Yuan, the throngs of onlookers gradually dispersing. Yet upon returning to the Hanlin Pavilion, they were greeted by a bustling scene. The number of customers had multiplied 5-fold, and this surge was only the beginning. Kang Shu Yuan, barely able to contain his excitement, finally asked, "Senior Elder? Did you truly use the 3-fire guide?" Ling Han's grin was effortless. Indeed. Observation over the past half-year had revealed that these 2 disciples had no ties to the Cloud Phoenix sect. They had not forgotten their origins, and their secrets remained untouched. Where did you learn this secret technique?" Yunyang Wang demanded, disbelief in his voice. Ling Han's expression softened into one of nostalgic pride. "I created it myself." Shock and outrage flared across the faces of his companions. How dare he claim as his own the sacred technique of their revered master? Their fury was raw and immediate. "I believe it is time for Senior Elder to depart," Yunyang Wang said, his voice cold as steel, drawing a line between reverence and defiance. And so, with the quiet dignity of a rising star, Ling Han left, leaving behind a legacy of astonishment and the promise of even greater deeds to come. In the dim light of the Hanlin Pavilion, a tension as sharp as a drawn blade hung in the air. Kang Shiyuan's eyes were icy, cutting through the haze like winter frost. Ling Han, ever composed, surveyed the room with the calm assurance of a master who had seen lifetimes come and go. Indeed, his interventions had saved the pavilion from ruin. Yet here he stood, not as a hero to be hailed, but as a threat to be measured. Even in the face of gratitude, the disciples' duty to their master could not allow the presence of one who had dared to imitate their revered teacher. Respect demanded vigilance, and the slightest lapse could become a wound to honor. Ling Han's laughter resonated through the hall, warm yet commanding, a sound that carried both amusement and latent authority. "Are you attempting to cast away the very hand that saved you?" he asked, voice tinged with incredulity and mirth. Kang Shuyuan's response was precise, cold as steel. "We will offer the necessary compensation." But Ling Han only smiled, his eyes glinting with a dangerous amusement. "And yet, do you not fear the consequences if I were to ally myself with the Treasure Forest Pavilion? Your store would not see 10 sunrises before it crumbled." A resolute shadow crossed Yunyang Wang's face, his voice firm with unyielding principle. "Better to die with honor than to survive with shame." The words hung like a banner in the air, defiantly fluttering against Ling Han's silent power. The master's clap cut through the tension, a subtle reminder that he could escalate or retreat with equal grace. "Is such insistence necessary?" he asked. "I merely voiced a claim." Kang Shuyuan's tone left no ambiguity. "Sir, your presence is no longer desired. Compensation will be delivered to your residence." It was clear. Ling Han's welcome had expired. Yet Ling Han's gaze softened, memories cascading over him like golden autumn leaves. "I remember a cold winter's day," he began, voice now carrying warmth and melancholy. "Outside a small tavern, I found a shivering child. I offered him a bowl of noodles, and from that moment, he chose to follow me, never leaving my side." Kang Shuyuan froze, disbelief clouding his expression. Memories long buried clawed at the edges of his consciousness. This was how he and his master had first crossed paths. an orphan nearly claimed by frost and hunger, saved by the kindness of a wandering alchemist. From that simple act, loyalty had been forged, and a disciple's journey into the arcane arts of alchemy had begun. Ling Han turned, eyes gleaming as they rested on Yun Yong Wang. "And you," he said, "once a young master of the Yun clan, spurned by your betrothed, you sought strength to return and deliver justice to that woman. Yet the fates favored your alchemical talents above martial prowess, and you became a grandmaster of the alchemical arts instead." Yun Yong Wang's lips parted in shocked exclamation. "Master?" But recognition, mingled with awe, began to settle in. Could it truly be him? Ling Han's sigh was gentle, a breeze through the corridors of time. Master journeyed into the ancient ruins and met his end. Yet my soul endured. 10,000 years have passed, and now I am reborn in this youth's body. The disciples exchanged glances, emotions tangled with disbelief. The reincarnation flower was a treasure of legends, blooming but once every 10 billion years. Yet here he was, returned to the lower realm, his fortune eclipsing even the most revered saints. Ling Han's recounting flowed, a river of memories that washed over the disciples. Tales of triumphs and trials, of subtle victories and small, intimate follies unfolded. Every moment, every incident only the master and his disciples had shared, now retold with the cadence of truth. Their astonishment grew with each passing story, and the proof of his unmatched alchemical skill sealed their hearts. Half a year of growth that once seemed impossible now mirrored the divine touch of their master. Tears streamed freely as Yun Yong Wang and Kang Shuyuan knelt, voices choked with emotion. Ling Han raised a hand, gentle yet firm. "No need for such ceremonies. 10,000 years have passed, yet seeing you both alive, flourishing in your arts, brings joy to my heart." Through tears, they barely managed to speak, their emotions a tempest of relief and wonder. Ling Han's gaze softened, searching theirs. "And where are your two brothers?" The youngest of the four, flamboyant Zhang Yuefeng, remained unspoken for a moment, his absence felt in the hush that followed. Yun Yong Wang, after a pause, began to speak, recounting the history that had driven a wedge between the brothers. After Master's passing, the five sects' true colors emerged. Their ambition threatened all under heaven. Though elites gathered to resist, the odds were ever against us, their resources bolstered even by the immortal realm itself. Even when we struck down some immortals, defeat was emphatic. He continued, voice steady but heavy with emotion. During this chaos, fourth brother encountered the daughter of a noble house from the Heaven Sword Palace. She fell for him, and he for her, wishing us to follow him into the immortal realm. Yet we refused, and this rift led to our separation. Ling Han's eyes widened, a smile tugging at the edges of his lips. Zhang Yuefeng, the audacious, had ensnared the heart of a heavenly beauty. The tale was astonishing, yet in true wuxia fashion, love and loyalty often intertwined with destiny and martial strife. The disciples' story deepened, revealing the hand of the heavenly phoenix divine maiden, a figure whose authority had demanded their compliance and prevented a battle to the death among the brothers. Ling Han's lips curved with quiet contemplation. Once he had been unable to best the maiden, but now, years, centuries, perhaps millennia later, he might. His voice lowered, tinged with a rare softness. "Where is she now?" Kang Shuyuan, with respect and a trace of awe, answered. Though born in a humble world, her bloodline shines supremely. After returning to the Cloud Phoenix sect, she advanced to the Sun Moon tier in a mere 3,000 years, now reaching consummate mastery. Yet displeased with her sect, she retired after great contributions, proclaiming herself. He paused, a glint of amusement in his eyes. Ling Han's exasperation mingled with fondness. "You dare abandon your master?" Even after 10 millennia, laughter bridged the gulf of time. Kang Shuyuan chuckled, embracing his age relative to the reborn master. "She calls herself the Ling family's widow." A flash of admiration and amusement danced in Ling Han's eyes. That fierce, unyielding woman, claiming herself as his bride, brazen and unrestrained. And yet, in that audacity, he found delight. The hall, filled with the mingling scent of incense and distant winter winds, seemed to hold its breath. Past and present, mortality and eternity, masters and disciples, all converged in this singular, poignant moment. In the quiet, only the resonance of alchemy, loyalty, and the indomitable will of the martial world remained, echoing through the hearts of those who had witnessed the return of a legend.